Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 306 for the week of April 25th, 2017. We're back. Sorry for missing last week. We'll talk about that in a second, though.
Some people did not.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that. My name is Ryan Higgins.
Yeah.
Who is here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Me, sorry.
There you go.
Toby.
And Charlie.
And a special returning guest.
The Kevin Sharp of Earth 2.
Kevin, how are you?
Well.
Welcome back. Sit a little closer to the microphone. You're a soft-spoken gentleman. I can't hear you.
Okay.
What chord are you? Are you blue?
See, usually
Purple.
Bryce sits there,
There you
so
go.
he has.
I have to turn it way down.
Yes.
So it's
I'm-
like the opposite.
Bryce, if you're listening, I'm so honored to be in your butt print on this seat.
You can sit in his chair, but you can never take his place, right? So last week, my wife got sick, and of course that means I got sick shortly
In
after.
Disneyland.
So I ended up getting one of those horrible 48-hour flus. So I was definitely out of commission for a couple days. So sorry for the very short notice and no episode last week. However, on Thursday I was feeling a little bit better, so I did record a very short segment where I did want to cover some of the topics we were going to talk about because I knew a lot of stuff was going to be announced at C2E2 this past weekend. So I did record that for about 10 minutes. I also took the recording that Toby and Bryce made.
The bloody mess that we made.
They broke into the store Tuesday night. Broke in sounds better. They broke into the store, recorded an hour of Toby and Bryce being Toby and Bryce.
It was like very much an hour of gibberish.
And then we put that on the feed as well. I didn't promote this very much. I didn't
Yes, please do not.
push it on any of the... So if you subscribe to our iTunes feed or RSS feed, you would have got the episode. A couple thousand of you did. For the rest of you, if you want to hear the episode 305.5, subscribe to us on iTunes or your favorite podcast app, and you should find the episode on there.
Not our best work, but we'll be better next time Brian is sick, which will happen again. I'm certain of it.
So Toby thinks that everything he does is garbage, which is not true.
Pretty much.
He's a perfectionist, which is, I guess, a good thing. I listened to 10 minutes of it and went, yeah, whatever, this is fine. And I threw it on the feed.
You do realize they were just warming up, and there was still alcohol being it.
Well, we figured out what the missing ingredient was.
It's you!
It's the hate that Toby and Bryce have for me.
Yeah.
To feed their energy.
We were very positive, happy together. It was like...
You need a straight man. And without Ryan here, it's just the crazy part. It'd be like
Pretty
the
much.
genie in Aladdin in his own movie with no Aladdin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't they have that?
There was no one for them to hate.
Yes.
So
we need a hate muse.
Yeah. You need that muse.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just fine. No. You had your little X-Men animated theme song. That was
Yeah,
good.
of
Good
course.
touch. Yeah, I lowered the volume on it because it kind of blew my eardrums out when I first listened to it. I had the volume up a little
Be
too loud.
loud.
It does. It's a good song.
I just thought it was great on Tuesday of last week. You were like, no, I can do this. And I told you, just go the fuck home.
So the question is, Brock,
Yes.
did they put everything back into the podcast box properly, or was it a mess like Ryan Scott always leaves it?
I mean, everything seemed fine.
Okay, good. You
It
guys
was-
are better than Ryan Scott.
I know what I'm doing.
It was put back
The only
fine.
problem was that giant board didn't work. I had to roll in my own little board.
I don't know. I use it every week.
It didn't work for me.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
Also, if you are a Patreon subscriber, the Roundup episode 3, the long delayed Roundup episode 3. You guys are talking
like
about
the image title of this.
So I will apologize to Charlie because we recorded this like 4 months ago.
the premieres from September of last year.
Yeah. We recorded this like 4 months ago. So I finally gave it to Ryan here, and I'm like, load this thing up like right away. He goes, no, I'm gonna wait till next. I'm like, no, it's like 4 months late.
No.
I'm gonna wait till
It doesn't matter. So 3 will go up on the feed for Patreon backers.
You have 4 also. Why
today.
don't you do it at the same time?
4 will go up in 2 weeks.
That will only be like 5 months late at this point.
That's fine.
No.
And then they'll give you a couple weeks to get me episode 5. And we'll get back on
and
schedule.
6 and 7 and 8 all at once.
You'll probably get it all at once.
You
to be
do realize,
honest.
Ryan, while you're saying this, you have this evil grin like you're.
I'm just- I know
like,
Toby's been yelling at-
enjoying
Yeah,
Toby's
because I have.
discomfort.
No, I have. I'm like, every day I'm like, you didn't load this shit up yet. I checked Patreon.
You give me the content, and I disperse it at a good normal interval.
Normal is not
on,
4 months late, even though if 3.5 is my own fault.
If it's 4 months late, 4 months and a few days isn't that much worse. It'll be up there. It'll be fine. Patreon backers will
Apparently, this is what was missing last week.
Yeah, exactly. See? Yeah. Him and Bryce can't argue with each other.
We can't. We agree on 3/4 of things.
And finally, last little bit of housekeeping here. For everyone that ordered the Flash and Batman crossover from us, the Button crossover, we had a lot of pre-orders, and I'm sure a lot of people from the podcast picked it up.
It's too bad because we sold out and we started selling your stuff. No, I'm kidding.
No, we did sell out of Batman, which is absolutely insane. A number of people reached out and wondered when those books were coming. When the final issue ships, we will ship them all out. So that's in 2 weeks from today. Is when Flash 22 ships. So that is when we'll get it shortly.
The amount of time I'm going to be spend boxing shit up.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
we're gonna pre-pack and pre-print out labels and everything like that. So after that Tuesday, what's it, the 10th, I believe? Check your PayPal payment, and you should see tracking on there. So you should get it shortly after that. I think a few people thought I was shipping about every time a new issue shipped, and I'm like, not unless you want to give me like $15 in shipping, because that's a waste of a lot of shipping and packaging to ship out an individual issue every week. This doesn't. We ship out sets all at once, and I do have the Jim Lee trading card set up for pre-order right now. The variant cover. All those Jim Lee 90s trading cards are being remastered as variant covers for Marvel in the month of July. You can order the entire set of all 29 covers.
I have those somewhere at home.
Yeah, well, now you can buy the variant covers, Charlie. We're going to sell a lot of those. I'm looking forward to those. All right, Toby ran away. I don't know what he wants to talk about or not talk about.
Talking to somebody on the phone, I think.
So let's. There's a lot of big news this week. A couple of really big topics, but let's start with the lesser stuff. Let's talk about Powerless, my favorite show of 2017. No, Powerless is totally fine, but it was fully removed from the schedule. That was just today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty sure Powerless is canceled. The last 2 episodes are not going to air. Charlie, you were telling me about, because I didn't read the plot of these 2 episodes. One of them actually sounded great. Why don't you tell us the plot of that one?
So I've actually been enjoying Powerless. It did get much better as it went on. And I was reading the episode that was supposed to be on this week, according to my TiVo, which I don't think is updated yet. But the whole premise of the episode was Lois Lane dies, and everybody in the office kind of realizes, well, Superman's just going to rewind time to bring her back, so everything we do today is not going to matter.
That's great.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, that's really funny.
There's also an
because we
episode
know
supposedly that's not airing that has Adam West, right?
Oh, you're right. He's supposed to be the head of the Wayne Company.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Or like the head
That's brilliant,
board
though.
member or something.
Yeah.
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 It's unfortunate. I definitely think the show got better. I'm not gonna say it's a great show, but I think it definitely got better as it went on. The first few episodes were really bad, but it did get a little better. Kevin, you've been watching these 2, right?
Yeah, I'm not up to date. What Charlie just said, though, it sounds great, and it reminds me of, well, here's where if we were on video, the screen would get all wavy. Yes, it reminds me of when Superman the movie came out, the original, the fierce, raging debates among everybody I knew who went. Did Superman turn the Earth backwards to reverse time, or did he fly back in time and it was visualized by the Earth going the other way?
I believe he just flew back in time.
You are correct, sir, because I tracked down the screenwriter decades later to ask the question to settle, even though I was long out of touch with most of those kids I saw it with.
Nice.
Yes. It's just a visual representation of him going back in time.
Right.
Well, they didn't have the trippy technology like for Doctor Strange or Flash to show time travel.
Right. Okay. Wavy screen again, and we're back to the present.
Yeah, I like that. Toby,
Somebody just do the sound effects from.
Right. Yeah, I did that.
I will miss Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a fun show, but it's not great.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't. I will be the first one to admit I did not expect it to get renewed, but I didn't expect it to get pulled either.
That fast, yeah. Let's talk about another show that might be fun, but probably won't be great.
What? It's going to be the greatest thing of all time.
Let's talk about the New Warriors.
No? Titans, fool.
We'll get to that.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
Topics here, Toby.
That's that's going to be a big topic.
You said Toby and then followed by blah blah.
New
blah,
Warriors.
Blah. I was like, oh, that TV show.
So, couple, I want to say months, maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago.
No, this is like a few weeks ago.
No. Originally, 6-8 months ago or so, they announced there was going to be a Squirrel Girl TV show, and they was going to star the New Warriors, possibly called the New Warriors. And I was like, whatever. Well, this is apparently official now. We have a full cast of characters, not actors, but characters. It is going to be on CW Seed. Not CW Seed, Jesus.
It's going to be on. It's going to be on weird.
It's going to be on Disney's Freeform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically their version of CW Seed, right? It's going to be on Freeform. I'm sorry, which is Disney's CW, kinda. So I thought that it was like a total little teeny bopper, like kids channel, but no. Apparently, they have a bit more CW-ish adult content than I thought they did. So, and that's actually
it's like the Buena Vista of TV.
Something else we'll talk about here in a few. But so we have the cast characters here, and can I just say, as a New Warriors fan, and even a Squirrel Girl fan, oh fucking boy. So Squirrel Girl. Okay, of course. Okay, Mr. Immortal's going to be in this, who's one of the guys from Great Lakes Avengers, who's fine. I don't know. What?
Why?
Right, this is what I mean. This is not a New Warriors TV show. Night Thrasher.
Excellent.
But the picture of Night Thrasher they show, the artwork, is the shitty Civil War bullshit Night Thrasher. Not his brother, not the one in the Jubilee New Warrior series, but it's just a bad. It's the bad Night Thrasher. And here is the write up for Night Thrasher. Dwayne is a local celebrity hero, quote unquote, with his very own YouTube channel.
We need a video of Toby.
Brilliant, strong.
What is happening?
Brilliant, strong, noble, and maybe just a bit full of himself. Dwayne is a shameless self-promoter and entrepreneur, but he also deeply believes in justice, at least his version of it. He hides the fact that he comes from a very rich family because he's afraid he'll lose his street cred. Yeah, you're so close. And then YouTube and shameless self-promoter, like that aughts millennial, like just fucking kill yourself.
They can follow his Snapchat during the show.
Please, God, no. This seems like the worst.
That's horrible.
You got to get with the times, man.
That's horrible.
Is that the whole team?
No.
That'd be a very odd team.
Speedball, who the description here seems fairly Speedball-ish.
Ridiculous costume.
So it should be your favorite show ever.
Has a cat he likes to
Well, I don't know. And here's where we get into the real shit. Microbe, who is one of the garbage Civil War New Warriors, and Debris, who's one of the other garbage Civil War New Warriors. God, fuck this show.
So, Ryan, I have a question for you.
Oh, my God.
On the New Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember that. I remember Speedball, that series, and the New Warriors, and I think of those as products of would that have been early 90s?
Yep, it was 90, 91. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, it's being launched now in 2017, 18?
This is 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you tell the audience, like, why should people care about the New Warriors?
They shouldn't. I mean...
Why are you disappointed by this?
Well... So if you do a Squirrel Girl TV show, I could totally see that working depending on what they wanted to do with it. The New Warriors could be part of it. I'm not saying she can't have like superhero buddies. Her and the New Warriors actually have a history. Dan Slott did a bunch of New Warrior Speedball, specifically Speedball and Squirrel Girl stories in the last 15, 18 years or so. So I'm not against these characters being involved with each other in some fashion. The pitch is that these are basically kind of like the loser characters that aren't going to be the Avengers, and they kind of want to form their own team. I like Squirrel. I like the comic a lot. I think she could totally make a great version, a TV show version of Squirrel Girl could be great. It could be really quirky and funny, a lot like what's that show, the Netflix show, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That same sort of humor and comedy. I totally think it could work. Great Lakes Avengers, Mr. Immortal. whatever. I don't love them, don't hate them, just don't care about them. Night Thrasher and Speedball are the two new warriors that make sense to have in a show like this because they're not going to be used in anything else. Nova will be... I mean, he's the Guardians. They're not going to bring the Nova stuff onto a TV show. Firestar is a mutant, so they probably can't use her. Justice is a mutant, probably can't use him. And Rage, I could see they can maybe bring in Rage, but of like the core team, and Namorita, there's weird stuff with Namor. I don't know if they can put Namor in any of the TV show stuff or movies. Isn't there some weird...
Yeah, I think he got caught up in the deal, the Fox
Fantastic
deal.
Four, yeah.
As a Fantastic Four character.
So Night Thrasher and Speedball makes sense. Mike Urban, Debris, I mean, they could be great characters in the show, but they're nothing in the comics. So you have 3 characters that I feel they could legitimately do something with, and 3 that are just kind of filler. But this isn't the New Warriors, and the problem is no New Warriors comic since that original run has captured the spirit of the actual team. They're not losers. They want to be heroes, but they're not. But their whole pitch was, we're not going to fight the gods, and we're not going to fight Galactus, or we're not going to fight the Kree. We're going to fight street crime in our part of the city. We're going to fight, this down to earth stuff.
Yeah, because we got curfew at 11.
Now that did get worse as time. I said worse. That did get expanded as time went on. They had time travel stories, and they had your typical superhero stuff. But the early, or especially that early run, was a very street level show, which I think would actually translate very well to a TV show, to Netflix, to what they're doing.
The street level show is what Defenders is kind of shaping up to be.
Right. I mean, I think a New Warriors TV show is not a horrible idea because it could be a little comedic, right? There's funny characters in there, but I don't see where they go with this, and I don't know that there's no modern take on the New Warriors for them to pull from. That the Civil War New Warriors was bullshit. Every version since has been bullshit. The
reality show team?
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
That might be the angle they're going with.
Right, and it's fucking awful. I mean, Mark Miller made these characters terrible to kill them. I mean, that was intentional. He intentionally, I don't want to say ruin the characters, but he intentionally wrote these characters to be very poor.
Were you feuding with Mark Millar at this point?
Oh, this was the start of it. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew the origin of this.
Well, of course, he kills fucking all the New Warriors, but that's not why. If it's done well.
But were you blocked before this or after this?
Oh, after this. It was after the delays.
So is your?
I'm just wondering if Penance had anything to do with it.
No, but against Penance, Penance is not a terrible character, but they never did anything great with him. That's the problem.
I'm putting Ryan on the spot as the biggest, probably, New Warriors fan at this table. Is your disappointment with the lineup? If it was the classic New Warriors lineup from 1989,
with Squirrel Girl,
added Squirrel Girl in,
I mean,
would you be more excited for the show?
Maybe, but I just don't. A goofy half an hour comedy with the New Warriors kind of misses the point of the book. You can. Speedball's a funny character. You can do stuff with that. But this interpretation of Night Thrasher seems very off from Night Thrasher. He is Batman. I mean, he is Batman with a skateboard. Yeah. There is no YouTube celebrity. There is no cocksure optimism. There's no cocksuredness. He is Batman 100%.
I kind of want that T-shirt. He is Batman with a skateboard.
Yeah. So I feel like that's really missing the character. But yeah, I mean, I think they actually could make a cool New Warriors CW-ish Arrow universe-esque show.
What if they weren't fighting street crime, but what if they were social justice warriors?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, I have a follow-up question for everybody, but it will be about another show I think you're going to discuss. So I'll table it till that.
I wanted to say the other... I didn't put this in the show notes, but I know at least me and Toby saw it. They had the trailer for Cloak and Dagger that's going to be on Freeform. Did you see? You saw that trailer, right? That is more kind of what they could have made a New Warriors show.
Yeah?
Yeah. That Cloak and Dagger trailer, I thought it wasn't much Cloak and Dagger. But
a younger version of them?
I mean, it is like... I'm assuming this is like trailer for the pilot where they get their powers.
Yeah?
Which is fine. I want to see Cloak and Dagger, though, right? I mean,
it's fine with me. I'm really excited for this one.
But where do they go with Cloak and Dagger?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's like Blade. They have a lot more freedom.
Yeah, but that trailer, like, it didn't
I think it's fine.
It didn't do anything for me.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
But I'm the target audience for this, right? I mean, I think Arrow and Flash, I definitely am the target audience, although it reaches much wider.
Like teenage girls.
It reaches all. We have endless kids, 10 to 12 years old, coming in to buy Flash comics nonstop. But Cloak and Dagger, this is going for a different audience, and it's not us, which is fine. But
I know the reaction. Like if this comes out, people are going to come. You have any Cloak and Dagger books? Nope.
Yeah, there's nothing available.
Nope. What? Nope.
Is that what you were going to ask
well,
about?
If it's successful enough, there will be some Cloak and Dagger comic books to sell
Be a
them.
new version
They'll be
of
garbage.
Cloak and Dagger too.
I'm not disputing that they'll be garbage, but there'll be something for you to sell.
One of the questions would be if there was a trade of the original run of Cloak and Dagger and somebody watched the TV show and came in here to buy it, would they recognize those characters?
I don't think so.
Well, someone has watched the Legion show, which I still need to wrap up. I'm a couple episodes back on still. But they came in and they said, hey, do you have any comics? And I was like, I go, this is technically what the show is based on, the Suspiria run, but I don't know if you're going to like this. The guy bought it. I never saw him again. So I told him beforehand, I was like, look, I'm going to be very honest. Not my favorite. Not really based on the character. It has nothing to do with it. But this is as close as you're going to get. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe you liked it.
Yeah.
Did you ever finish Legion?
No, I'm still a few episodes back, I said.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been so swamped with stuff. I need to catch up on it.
Hopefully it'll be on Netflix so I can catch up.
It will.
It's on Hulu.
I don't Hulu.
All right.
Well, let's talk about one more TV show here, and this is actually kind of a bigger deal. Today, out of nowhere, DC announced this. Not Warner Brothers. DC announced that they are going to have. There was rumor a few weeks ago about them doing their version of Marvel Unlimited, which is the Netflix for comics for Marvel. You get everything that they have available digitally. It's $100 a year, I think, or for like $14.99 a month or something like that. Is it $9.99 a month? $14.99 a month?
I think they have
I think it's if you pay at a month level, year level.
One. Yeah. So there was talk of that DC doing that. Well, we don't have all the details, but they are kind of one step above, I think, what anyone expected. There's going to be a DC digital service from Warner Brothers with, I assume, all the DC TV shows, movies, cartoons available streaming in a Netflix style. All the comic books available like Marvel Unlimited. Young Justice Season 3 exclusive, and the Greg Berlanti, Jeff Johns Titans live action TV show led by Nightwing. Whoa! What the hell? Where did this come from?
So your question is
Toby's dreams.
Yeah.
So your question is how much
what
is
do you
a
mean
lifetime account?
It's been up there forever now. It was supposed to be on TNT. TNT decided to pass on
For
it.
Titans.
Jeff
For
Johns
Titans,
kept
right.
saying it wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised? Your fucking man said it wasn't dead.
But I didn't expect this. This is pretty big.
Now, did they list what that Titans team is going to consist of?
Not that I saw.
Because
I just heard Nightwing.
This is the question that I was going to ask to all of you going off of New Warriors. So you've got the Teen Titans from the 60s, the Silver Age. You've got the George Perez New Teen Titans. You've had, probably eight different iterations of that team.
Yep.
If you hear that the concept is a Teen Titans TV show,
This is like
what would be a character you would say it needs to have this person?
Well, I will tell you right now that it should have Wally and Arsenal from the Arrow universe.
I wonder if they will.
They should just move them
They
over.
should.
I mean, instantly you got people that will have interest in it.
Let me actually get Johns' tweet here, because he had a kind of interesting
I mean, I've been saying the Arsenal thing ever since the TNT thing was being rumored around. But now that we got Wally, you can move Wally over too.
He said, happy to be running the Titans again and working with this crew. Extremely excited. Will be something very different. #Beast Boy. So I'm curious about the very different part. But at least we know Beast Boy is going to be in it. And some report I read it was Nightwing.
Well, the thing is I mean, because if they take some of the aspects of Jeff Lemire's Earth 1 Teen Titans, those two graphic straight to graphic novels are really, really good. Charlie, did you read those?
Yeah, it's very weird for me to say, but it's one of those things where I would love Cyborg to be in it, but I also know Cyborg will never be in it.
So do you think? So you think it's Starfire that should be in it too?
So my expectation is, depending on how they go with it, I do think Starfire will make an appearance. Whether or not she'll be a full-fledged member all the time, I can't say. Just like I don't see, especially John's being involved, not at least bringing in various people directly associated with the Titans.
Yeah.
Whether or not he has a sort of smaller cast that he can then bring other people in, and there is the potential that he might even play around a little bit with the aspect of legacy, meaning if this is very tied to the Arrow and that stuff, then I agree with Toby. They'll probably figure out who they can bring from Arrow and Flash. If they decide this is something completely different, then I'm guessing he'll work in some sense of legacy to it, because you can't do a Titans show without having a legacy around the characters who are part of the Titans.
Well, and also, I mean, do you think they do Raven?
I would expect so. I mean,
I think
they have a lot of name recognition with the Teen Titans.
Well,
they kind of successfully launched the sort of... So, I mean, forever now they've been following that formula for the DC direct-to-videos, where they kind of had their Justice League and Batman releases, and they kind of built up both of those, and then they used the Justice League release to launch sort of the Titans in that now. So now Titans had their own Judas Contract release recently. So
I don't see why they wouldn't make the show connected to the CW stuff.
Yeah.
They own that. They partially own CW, right? So Warner Brothers is the co-owner of that network. It's only good cross branding to make these characters. They don't have to cross over, but it can be in the same universe if they want to.
I think they could definitely have it in the same universe. In fact, if I want to get really technical, I kind of hope it's in the Supergirl universe. Flesh out that universe a little bit more.
It could, yeah, if they don't want to bring her over officially. Yeah.
You just would expect something that's not just a live-action Young Justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, I mean, the whole idea of if they have Nightwing there, I kind of feel like it would fit better in the Supergirl universe, because you can kind of establish a Batman in that universe.
Superman already exists, that Batman would exist.
So the only thing that brings to my mind question-wise is, so what about Deathstroke?
What about him?
I mean, we've already got him in Arrow, so are they going to bring something like that
over?
Well,
that's the question. They can move them over. Why not?
Yeah,
they're all cross-platformed anyways. Or not platform, but contractually.
Hell, they just don't even pay the actor for Deathstroke anymore. They just get random dude with the mask to show up. And was it Manute? What's the guy's name? I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
The original...
Well, he's also busy on another
show. The original TNT lineup had Barbara in it, too. It was very Batman-centric, plus other people.
The TNT one was kind of like they were in like high school or college.
They were younger.
It's kind of like friends.
Yeah.
So I think a Berlanti would be a slightly more traditional.
Yeah, and what I was asking was because there have been so many versions of that team. Like, what would everybody like?
I mean, I think
unlike the New Warriors, which has kind of just been one, maybe two,
one real lineup.
I mean, the original Teen Titans was Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Robin.
Yeah.
Period. Then they added Wonder Girl.
I think five members. I think Nightwing. I mean, he said Beast Boy, so we'll go with Beast Boy. I think you skip Flash. I think you skip Cyborg because they are in other stuff. You could totally have Aqualad if they wanted to bring Aqualad in. I don't think you get Donna Troy, but I think you get Starfire and Raven. I think there's your five. There's your five members.
Well, and you already have. I mean, you have There's a
Nightwing,
connection with the
Aqualad, Beast Boy, Starfire,
Teen
Raven.
Titans Go that's been going on for years and stuff like that.
Right, which is Nightwing, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Starfire,
it's Robin,
and Raven.
But yeah.
Well,
Robin,
some episodes it's Nightwing.
Yeah. So I just don't think they're
episodes of Nightwing.
Unless they're going to scrap the Cyborg TV show and throw him into the Nightwing movie. The Cyborg movie and throw him in with Nightwing on the TV show.
Quick, do the screen noise. A year ago on this podcast, I bet everybody at this table $1 each that you would never see a theatrical Cyborg movie. I stand by that bet.
I'm not.
Okay, back to the president.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. They've got to be firing on all cylinders to get some of this stuff going. I love a Rock Black Adam movie, but man, you've got to be like that. That's like Ant-Man right there. Like you've really got to have a solid foundation to make that movie click. And I'm just not sure.
See, the thing that amuses me about
DC's
stuff like that is they announced stuff like that casting so far back now that it's just
Marvel today announced that they were moving the date of an unannounced movie. It's like, fuck, why? Like, this movie...
Because we can't hit that date.
This Marvel movie that we haven't announced, that we announced the date for, we're moving the date. All right, I guess. Thanks for telling nobody. Thanks for telling...
Well, wasn't that because
Wikipedia.
they also had the same date for the Indiana Jones that they announced?
Maybe, yeah. Stupid Indiana Jones. So obviously this DC
Kingdom of the get rid of Crystal Skull.
I wish. This DC digital service, obviously we don't know much about. We'll find out more soon. Very, very looking forward to it.
You just won a lifetime account, right? Pay once and you're done.
Maybe I'll ask my Twitter buddy Jeff Johns if he can hook me up with one. All right, let's talk about some real comic
We're
books.
laughing because he was like bobbing his head around like he was some weird like teenage kid that didn't know how to dance or some velociraptor on drugs.
Let's talk about some real stuff.
Ask your Twitter buddy Mark Waid about it. Maybe he can hook you up.
Dude, he shut down his Twitter account.
Really?
Again?
Yeah, he deleted his account. People freaked out on him about something and what? It was some nonsense.
Some diversity in champions?
No. He didn't get caught up in all the... Someone asked about the Nick Spencer stuff. We'll talk about that later in the episode. I don't think he got caught up in the Nick Spencer stuff. What was it? It was some total nothing comment, and the internet blew up at him, and he just deleted his Twitter account out of nowhere. So, yeah, I have no idea. Super weird.
What did it take to get Ryan Higgins to delete his Twitter account?
For the other Ryan Higgins to give up his Twitter account so Ryan could move over?
Let's see. I thought I had a good list here of who is involved in all this, and now I'm finding that I don't. So let's see if I could do this by memory here. There's a bunch of stuff announced at C2E2, the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. C2E2, yeah, that sounds right. Whatever. One of those things. What?
Nothing.
One of the things
this is just slightly better than something was announced somewhere at some time.
It was just prior to the show. Well, Thursday, did they do a Thursday pre-show at C2E2? They might. There's... Oh, here we go. I got my full list now. DC announced DC Universe Dark Matter. Now, this is a number, I believe 6 new titles by DC, new or kind of reintroduced characters by a pretty good writing team, but a DC's top-tier artists. If you remember our conversation a few weeks ago about Marvel and their comments about how artists don't move the needle, well, DC took that to heart and said, hey, here's our 6 major artists, art-focused comic series of new characters with top-tier writers. It is focused around the art. There's going to be like big splash pages and super fancy art stuff going on inside. The Dark Matter comics will focus on epic graphic storytelling, according to DC. It launches out of Dark Knight's Metal, which is a Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo book that's going to kind of be the launching series for all this. And, you know, how better to launch new stuff than have Batman involved in it. I don't expect these to be ongoing. I expect these to be 6 issues. You're not going to get Jim Lee to do more than that. I would hope these would not be ongoing titles because it's unlikely that it'd be too successful without the creative teams. It'd be tough. And, I would like to see these artists back on some regular big DC stuff at some point, but I expect these will be 4 issues, 6 issues. They don't really, to what I saw, they don't really talk about length of any of this stuff. So we have the first one in September is The Silencer by Dan Abnett and John Romita Jr.
Okay, so you start out with top tier artists and you pick John Romita fucking Jr.
I mean, we don't like John Romita Jr.
No, nobody likes John Romita Jr.
But he is
He's a
respected artist. While we joke about him on this podcast, and a lot of us here don't like him, he has his fans.
He definitely moves the needle down.
He has his fans.
Okay, moving on. We had this discussion
and
every other podcast for 2 years.
Yeah. So
okay, I just need to jump in here.
Yeah.
And say that Romita Jr., late 80s, mid-late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Iron Man,
even
X-Men,
Daredevil, yeah. He was
so good.
Yeah.
Even late 90s, early 2000s, I still really liked his stuff. It was only in the last decade or so that I feel like his art style just doesn't click with the modern books. But depending on what they do with this book, it could totally work. The pitch here is Honor Guest, that's a very strange name, was the world's deadliest assassin until she traded it all in for a chance at a normal life in the suburbs, free from the constant death and destruction. But as her former life comes back to haunt her, Honor must strip away her suburban persona and protect her family as the Silencer.
There was a good movie called The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
Of that premise.
Same thing, yeah.
I'm just getting flashbacks of scenes from Kick-Ass.
Dan Didio and Justin Jordan, with art by Kenneth Rocafort, will be launching a title in September as well called Sideways. A teenager struggles to live through high school as he comes in contact with dark matter. It's kind of like this thing gives everyone, or some of these people, this power. And gets the power to teleport through the dark dimension. It sounds like Cloak. But each leap brings the new hero one step closer to succumbing to the allure of his new power and its dark origins. This one probably be one of the bigger titles. James Tynion IV and Jim Lee will be doing Immortal Men, which I'm going to assume is a playoff on the Immortal Man, a classic DC character. Born at the dawn of time, 5 siblings find that with eternal life comes eternal war. As the forces of destruction march into the modern world, they operate from the shadows, recruiting the elite against the foes who seek to bring about Armageddon. They are humankind's hope sprung eternal. They are the Immortal Men.
That kind of sounds like Planetarium.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. In October, Robert Venditti and Tony Daniel are doing their take on Damage, the Teen Titan character. So we're going to get a new Damage. I don't believe it's going to be. It's not the same character. His name is Ethan Avery, but that pitch. And this, if there's a number 2 that I'm looking forward to besides Dark Knight Metal, which is the Scott Snyder Greg Capullo one. That's in August as well. That kind of launches everything. In December, Scott Snyder and Andy Kubert do the new Challengers.
Yes.
So they're doing a take on Challengers of the Unknown,
yes.
Which that I can get down with. So if you don't know the Challengers of the Unknown, it's kind of like that's DC's version of the Fantastic Four before they got their powers.
And it was a Kirby creation before he did Fantastic Four.
Right. I want to say mid-50s.
Yeah, the showcase, late 50s.
Late 50s, a couple years before FF.
The last time they tried to do Challengers was that DC Universe Presents book
It was not great.
when the New 52 came out. And that was like the worst story in that thing. And there was some pretty bad ones, but that one was probably the worst.
So these
Vandal Savage one is the only one I remember really liking.
The Deadman one was okay. The Vandal Savage was okay. The last issue ties up that... oh God, was it? I can't remember the backup story from the Sword of Sorcery, Beowulf character guy.
So these are, this isn't just the writer came up with this and the artist draws whatever the writer says. I mean, these are artist and writer collaborations. This is, I don't want to say like this is DC's take on the founding of Image Comics, but is that sort of the artist is much more involved in the storytelling than they kind of normally are, or the scripting, I should say. So, very excited for this. I hope it works well. I kind of don't want to see these guys permanently leave the more mainstream DC titles, but hell, this is a great way to launch these titles and give something new a shot.
Well, it's nice to have kind of this spread out kind of just exposure. Like, it's the next wave of, because we had the Dead Man series, we had Death of Hawkman, Raven. We had all these the Fall of Captain Atom.
Yeah,
it's this nice kind of, hey, we have a wave of minis that are happening this year.
Dark Matter is a little different. So we have Rebirth, we have the Hanna-Barbera stuff, we have Vertigo, we have Wildstorm. It's not an imprint. It does take place in the Rebirth world, they said, but it is a new banner. So where it says Rebirth on top of all the Rebirth books, it'll say Dark Matter. So it'll be kind of not a separate thing. It is still involved, but it is new characters, big creative teams, new takes. So it's.
I just hope it's not like the minis that we got after Final Crisis.
So
it won't be anything like that.
I don't know. When I think about the pitch for this line, and part of what gets me very excited for it is we've seen some artists really kind of do this transition recently, like Maniple, who was just doing art, and then he sort of picked up the co-writing stuff.
Well, and he was just writing for a while, and drawing. So,
and like for me, that's allows certain storytelling to be done in just amazing ways, especially with the way certain motion and stuff can flow from panel to panel that way with that sort of storytelling in mind. So if this is a way to find artists who really have a good grasp of how to tell a story through art, I would love to see sort of a renaissance of that style get fed into some more books.
Yeah. I think, with the success of Rebirth, I could see this will be around the 1 year anniversary of that, just shortly after. No, it was May.
It was May.
Yeah, year and a half after. So I think we're due for a couple new titles. We'll see what happens long term. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. So let's get on to I guess you could call it big news. Kind of mixed, I don't want to say mixed reaction, just maybe not quite the reaction I was expecting. Marvel announced Marvel Legacy. And they announced what I've been hinting at and teasing about for a while. And if you've listened to this podcast a couple of weeks back where I did talk about getting to see the Marvel retailer presentation and various stuff I was not allowed to talk about, this is what this is. So now I can talk much more freely about this. There is still some stuff I can't talk about, but enough stuff has been leaked or spoiled at this point that it's well beyond any sort of NDA.
You're not breaking NDA, so
not at this point because everything's already been pretty much been leaked. At C2E2, they had a retailer conference where they announced a bunch of stuff, not officially, but they did talk about a number of things coming back, and we got a little more info at C2E2 about this. So we have Marvel Legacy by Jason Aaron and Asada Ribic, which is a 50-page one-shot issue, much in the way of DC Universe Rebirth, that is going to, let me quote, establish a new status quo of hope, heroism, and heart, according to the press release. The status quo will also involve the return of a beloved Marvel mainstay. There's many people that are missing from the Marvel Universe right now, so it could be any one of these. A couple things that Bleeding Cool reported on getting announced was a Peter Parker, an Amazing Spider-Man arc called The Fall of Parker or Fall of Parker Industries. I can't remember exactly what they said, which seems to bring Peter into a much more typical Peter Parker-like state.
And the book itself is already kind of going that direction anyway.
Right. Return to Planet Hulk, meaning Hulk's coming back. And resurrection of Tony Stark, which means Tony Stark's coming back. So there's 3 Marvel characters, much more back to normal. They are going to go back to legacy numbering. So we're going to get Spider-Man 770-something and Hulk 600 and whatever. I also read they're going to
Venom's getting 150, man.
Yeah, Venom 150 comes back pretty soon. That's sort of like the test that they're bringing back. Eddie Brock just came back as Venom, normal Venom again. They are going to bring back the corner boxes So if you're a big fan of those corner boxes and comics, I like that. They're going to bring back Foom, the Friends of Mighty Marvel, or Friends of... What is it? Friends of...
I think it's Friends of Old Marvel.
Friends of... Yeah. I can't... But what does it stand for? FOOM. That was their old... anthology. Like, not anthology, but what is it?
It was like a fanzine.
Friends of Old Marvel.
Yeah.
It was like their fanzine. They're going to bring back some variation on that. They're definitely going for that retro Marvel vibe, and with the legacy numbering and the return of a lot of their classic characters, cool. But if you are a fan of all their current characters, like, I mean, I don't know, they didn't say specific, but the characters that are labeled as diversity characters that are not selling great for Marvel, there will be a huge push for these characters to hopefully get them selling a little bit better. They're not going away. They'll still be around in some fashion, at least for an arc or two. You know, I can't say for sure how long they'll last, but, you know, Moon Girl's circling the drain right now for the direct market. But it does well in trade paperbacks, so I'm sure there's some hope that this book continues in some fashion. I think they need to get legacy correct. In my email to Marvel, when I had this big conversation with them a few weeks ago, I told them that, look, you need to steal whole cloth from Rebirth. This book has to be cheap. If it's as cheap as Rebirth, I will give it away for free to my customers like I did with Rebirth to try to get excitement, and we sure got excitement over Rebirth. If it's 50 pages and $5.99, oh yeah, sure, I'll sell some. I may even still give it away, depending on the incentive structure.
A free comic book day about a year or two later.
Well, no, but they need to do right by their fans.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff Johns and Dan Didio both came out and very publicly said, look, we kind of fucked up. Marvel said, you know, they said some stuff. They need to really get someone out in the front at Marvel right now and kind of, you know, appease the fans that they've lost. Because, you know, sorry, Tumblr, but Hellcat ain't paying the bills these days. I need my Wolverine money back. I need my Hulk money back.
So, Ryan, I'll repeat the question I asked you earlier before the mics were on, which is, if this is a reboot of some kind, a relaunch, something like that, do you think it would work better told in continuity, like a Crisis on Infinite Earths or something that reshapes the universe and creates this new status quo? Or would it be better to just abandon that and just hit a reset button and just say, we're starting from here, don't worry about the previous issues?
So much like Rebirth, I think you should not do that. I think...
Which one?
I think you should not just reset and go, don't worry about anything else. Because there is a legacy to these... You know, it's called Marvel Legacy. That right there says we're going to acknowledge everything. Johns did such a good job with Rebirth saying, hey, look, we're going to take what we did in New 52, acknowledge it all, and fix it. Because there are people that like what they've done at Marvel. Mm-hmm. There are many people that liked what they did during New 52. I'm one of them, all right? If they just said, look, fuck the last 5 years, I take some offense to that because there's really good books in there. I don't think Crisis did that. They cleaned it up, but they're like, we're never going back, except we could totally go back at any time, right? Every time they say they'll never go back, that's the biggest load of crap. Because, of course, they can always go back. It's fiction. They can do whatever they want, right? There's nothing story-wise that has made Marvel this way that they can't just bring these characters back. It wasn't like things changed so dramatically after Secret Wars. They could have Reed Richards and Franklin be up there in the cosmos and be like, oh, Hulk died. Oh, Iron Man died. Oh, let's bring them back. I mean, they could kind of Superboy Prime it, right, and bring these guys back. But I think they're just going to have these characters naturally come back because you do have people that have enjoyed what they've done. And it is kind of a slap in the face if you just wholesale.
Well, I more mean, is it just you have Bruce Banner show up in an issue?
No, I mean, they'll find a way to bring him back. They could all come back in that Resurrection issue, or in that Legacy issue, right?
Well, while they could all come back in the Legacy issue, I would not be surprised if he does just show up and then they tease the answers
down
the road.
God, why am I getting Red Hulk flashbacks?
Well, you have options if they want to kind of wholesale resurrect people. You have
Beyonder.
The Beyonder. You have the Gauntlet. You have, again, Reed and Franklin up in heaven creating the universe as they got left off in Secret Wars. So there is options here if they wanted to. But no, I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll a more natural way to bring all this stuff back slowly. I mean, Tony Stark isn't dead. He's alive. We know that. His consciousness is basically the new
Stark's
AI.
In a coma, basically.
Yeah, so they can just zip it right back and he's awake. Hulk, I mean, Bruce Banner just recovers because he's the fucking Hulk. Like, he got shot and he's dead, but his body just comes back to life because he's the Hulk. Like, you don't need to have a reason to bring him back, right?
Yeah, you just
Cap will be.
There was an influx of gamma radiation, and it charged him back up.
Yeah, Cap will be Cap again at the end of Secret Empire.
Break Kobik, and then she'll fix it. And
welcome to comic books if you've never if you think Cap's a Nazi forever. Read 2 comics in a row if you think anything will last forever. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So the big couple are Wolverine, because I think there is success with Old Man Logan, but I would prefer Wolverine to come back. And he is going to be in that Generations one-shot. FF.
Yes.
I think it's all kind of pointless if you don't bring the FF back. That is while the FF have never, in the modern day, been the sales juggernaut, it is like, Superman has never been the sales juggernaut of DC. But if you don't have a good Superman book, that heart is missing from the entire universe. And that is the FF in Marvel. You need them to be around.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the Fantastic Four are kind of seen as Marvel's legacy characters. They're the ones that started.
Well, and they are the connection between old Marvel and new Marvel. Yeah. They were the start of it. They went from the monster comic to the regular comic. They brought in the Human Torch. They brought in Namor. Those old characters all came back with except for the Cap through the FF.
They're like the anchor.
Yeah, they are that center of the Marvel universe. It's funny that all this has happened since they've got rid of the FF. Right? It was sort of like the heart keeping them alive, and it's just missing from everything. So yeah, I want this to succeed. I want this to be Marvel's rebirth. I want this to be just as awesome. I hope they pick up a ton of new creators. I like the double shipping. Sorry if you don't. I think it's a great format, and it's worked gangbusters for DC. The books are going to be $3.99. You have to live with it. They're bringing back the digital codes. We talked about that a few weeks ago, but that's part of this as well. That actually should start next week. All the digital codes should be back in Marvel Comics as of next week if you're a Marvel fan. And but they can't half-ass this. They have to it can't just be, legacy numbering and bullshit stories nobody cares about by creative teams nobody cares about. No, they really need to drill down to the core. I just fear that Marvel doesn't have a Jeff Johns that can get everyone on board with this same vision. You have...
Well, I think Marvel's had success with Jason Aaron on Thor. They had success with Dan Slott on Spider-Man.
Right, but these are all very
individualized, right? Like, Brubaker back in the day did Cap, and there's been runs on specific characters where these creators have done a very good job. But it wasn't like, in DC had that until kind of you had, like you said, John's kind of everybody kind of dialing in with his thought process and having him kind of oversee all of what's going on. He's not necessarily fiddling with all these little details, but there's this big, kind of overarching, this is what we're going for.
Right,
we're a group here, but you have to have the leader to guide everybody.
Yeah, and it's not Alonso, and it's not Tom Brevoort. They're
it's
so
not Bendis.
Disconnected. I mean, Bendis is great, but he does his own books. He's not the guy that leads the charge across the line. It's not Dan Slott. It's not Jason Aaron. I get it could be Jason Aaron, but he likes the weird characters. He
likes the weird characters. And
I don't see Jason Aaron being that guy. I mean, it's not going to be Nick Spencer. God, I mean, even if you like Nick Spencer, they're not going to give him that job.
Not with how vocal he is on Twitter.
Well, not with just. I think the blowback to that would be pretty brutal, and I don't. Could be Mark Waid, but then Mark Waid's just going to get pissed off after 6 months and quit. because that's Mark Waid, and I think he's. I just don't.
How do I turn off my Marvel duties?
And like, I don't know who you give it to at Marvel. I have no clue. I don't see Charles Soule.
But I mean, the problem is, as we're
Jeff
talking
Loeb.
about here,
Jesus.
is if DC didn't have Jeff Johns, there was nobody to do that over at DC either.
But they had Jeff. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They had Jeff Johns. They did have someone.
Yeah.
And Marvel doesn't have that guy. I mean, it could be Quesada if he wanted to step down from Marvel Entertainment or come over.
I don't think he wants to, though.
I mean, I have no idea.
I would actually welcome that.
Your mic's off.
I would welcome that.
Quesada? Well, he's
Yeah.
even the cover to X-Men Legacy.
Yeah, but no, I would welcome him to coming back to kind of a more creative role and maybe let someone else run the ship for a while.
When I said this on Twitter...
Which is hard for a guy that's been in charge for a while.
Well, right. When I asked on Twitter, I said, who does Marvel have since Stan Lee? And people meant Jim Shooter, but I don't... Jim Shooter had a couple good years, but the legacy didn't stick on those books. And I think... I mean, he had arguably the greatest comics Marvel have ever published in a very short time span, but he was out of there very quick compared to some of these guys.
Yeah, if you hear the stories from the artists and writers from that time, from the Shooter
They
era, which is
hated
like
him.
late 70s through the 80s, maybe?
78 to 87, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 86.
The story was that Shooter came in when Marvel was a mess,
Yeah.
fixed, got everybody in line, got all the ducks in order,
Yep.
fixed everything, and then felt the need to keep fixing it.
Yeah.
He never stepped back
Right.
once he had gotten it. So Shooter was a micromanager,
Right.
where what you needed was somebody to come in, crack the whip, get everybody in line, and then just let
Then
the
just
books
let it
run.
go. And that's what Johns did with Rebirth, right? I mean, so under Shooter, you had the Miller Daredevil, you had the Claremont Byrne X-Men, you had the Byrne FF was under
Yep,
him too,
yep.
right? You had Iron Fist. Was the Marvel Premiere Iron Fist stuff under him? Was She-Hulk, the launch of She-Hulk and Spider-Woman and all that was under him?
The Thor, Samson.
Was the Simonson Thor under him too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you had Secret
like the
Wars.
tail
Secret
end.
Wars
Those
under
tail
them.
end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Towards the tail end of his run. Yeah. So, I mean, those are arguably some of the biggest stuff for Marvel, period, and some of the biggest characters and some very long-lasting characters. A bunch of people have said Al Ewing needs to be that guy, and I'm like, dude, people love him, but his books don't sell. I don't get it. I've read a handful of books he does. It does nothing for me. I don't know. I don't know who that guy is at Marvel. I don't think there is one.
Yeah,
Maybe they bring down some of the TV guys, but I just who's the X-Men
Google
guys? No, they did the
Bun?
X-Men did X-23 and
Yost?
And the other guy? There's
Y-
two. There's
Yeah,
two.
Yost and-
maybe Man of Action. Maybe bring those guys in because
Yeah.
Tom was that God, I'm blanking on all their names now. Because those guys in the cartoons, at least for some of those cartoons, they've got a good sense of classic Marvel.
They had a good run on X-Force too.
Yeah. I don't know what you do, but Marvel, man, I'm rooting for you. Nobody's rooting for you more than the comic store owners because it's rough.
Higgins needs some money.
Well, this week I have 6 Marvel ongoing comics and 2 miniseries that are subscription only. I don't have 8 Marvel comics out this week. I do not get shelf copies for. That's
insane.
unheard of. That's it. And I have these giant stacks of X-Men Gold and Weapon X. So there's interest in the new stuff.
Yeah, you got Thor's out this week. You got the X-Men. All the X-Men books are out this week because of the problem with
X-Men Gold
With
and
X-Men
number
Gold.
2. Yeah.
You have Blue, Gold, Weapon X. You have Thor this week. What else?
Well, that's it.
I mean, those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Thanos comes out this week.
Yeah, we don't sell a lot of Thanos, unfortunately. It's a really good title.
Old Man Logan is the other one.
Yeah, we just don't sell too many. A couple of people in our questions here did ask about the Marvel stuff, so we'll answer a few of these here. So here's a question from John, and this actually goes to what you're asking, Kevin. So let's say all of Marvel is being hard rebooted, save for 2 characters. Whose current continuity would you want to see live on? You're not even reading much right now from Marvel, are you?
I do not read a lot from Marvel, no.
Yeah.
But I would be down here on a Wednesday to buy a good Fantastic Four comic, no question.
Well, when the legacy stuff comes up, we'll have sign-up sheets for all the new...
Yeah.
I mean, not number ones. It'll be what number 900.
I mean, I haven't read X-Men Blue or Gold, but I'm looking at the covers and saying, I recognize those characters, and I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Peter Parker running Parker Industries.
And this is what I tell people, right? Like, if you look at the DC wall, you're like, yeah, I see Batman, I see Supergirl, I see Green Arrow, this makes sense. You look at the Marvel wall, you're like, what? Who? What? And this is the thing that people don't get. I mean, I think when you look at a book individually, you see like, oh, I like this book. That's great. But look at that Marvel wall. Look at your local comic shop. Look at all the Marvel books and think, does this scream classic Marvel? Does this scream, I want to read these?
No, a lot of people be really lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would be really lost who come to these characters through the movies now. And come into the comic shop like, let me read more about that.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, Captain America...
Yeah.
Or wait, this is not the X-Men from the movie.
Right.
Wait, Wolverine's a girl?
Yeah.
Wait, Thor's a girl?
Yeah.
What was the question?
Whose continuity would you want to keep for two
From the
characters?
new one?
For right now, because
I like Girl Iron Man.
what are two characters right now that if Marvel did reboot fully, that you actually would keep the current?
I would keep Doctor Strange.
Yeah. But again, I feel Doctor Strange is one of those books that's actually kind of classic. It feels
Yeah,
like.
that's why I'm.
It's the only
That's why I'm
one.
saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. They've been doing some good stuff with Old Man Logan, and if he's staying, if that character's staying in the universe, then yeah, I would say keep Old Man Logan.
So this is kind of hard for me to answer, just because looking around the wall, it's sort of about where the story is currently. Because if a lot of these stories wrap up, like if they do wrap up everything that's going on with the female Thor and the unworthy Thor, that kind of stuff, I don't necessarily feel the need to keep that around. If it hasn't been wrapped up, like say they were rebooting tomorrow, I would be pissed if they didn't finish through some of the stories that they are currently doing that are really good. And that's one of those things that when like the New 52 happened, the fact that you had this long legacy of Johns' run on Green Lantern, I would have been the first one shouting profanity all over the place if they had messed with that.
Well, that's the thing is Batman and Green Lantern were the two that kind of carried over. Like their continuities they got tweaked, but overall their continuities stayed fairly consistent from I'm not New 52.
Well, I'm not disputing that. I don't think they carried over anything that was currently going on in the Batman books so much.
No.
They sort of relaunched with new Batman stories while still acknowledging certain key events in Batman history, but it wasn't we're continuing this story to reach its conclusion. And there's a couple of things in Marvel right now, like everything that's going on with Thor needs a conclusion before they can move past that for me.
But would you be interested, forget the current storyline, if you knew Marvel was doing a hard reboot, but the Thor books were just going to continue as they currently are?
Yeah, that's the question.
And that for me is kind of where I'm like, you know what? If they wanted to finish this, give me my complete Thor story, and then reboot back to sort of a simpler time for Thor, I'd be okay with that. Like, I don't feel like the current story arc and the history that this would bring to it necessarily lends itself to what needs to carry forward into the next arc.
But which one would you want? That's the question. Yeah, because I think
that's kind of where I'm having trouble with. I don't feel like there's very much in Marvel right now that if they wanted to not acknowledge Parker Industries anymore, I wouldn't be upset with that. If they
didn't want to acknowledge Daredevil going to San Francisco, I wouldn't care.
I mean, I think a couple cases for me, like Miles Morales, I would totally keep around. But I don't feel like that's a.
I think that's from.
But how much of his history
era.
Do you need?
His era from before,
right?
That's the Ultimate stuff.
Right, but that's been completely swept away now, right?
Yeah,
the Ultimate stuff is totally gone.
That's the stuff that made him special, though.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the Spider-Man 2 book.
Yeah.
Because they said they are finally going to answer what Peter found at the end of the first one.
Yeah, sure they will.
Which suggests that they can't have wiped out the Ultimate timeline, even though it totally seems like they did.
Right. I don't know.
I have no clue how they're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I would not throw away what they've done in Thor. I think Thor has been great. And it has been very different, but I've really enjoyed it. I would keep that going forward. Even if Thor is Thor again, I don't think you take this story out of the continuity.
No.
So here's one of the big ones. Armando asks, what reaction are you seeing in the store about the Hydra, Nazi, Secret Empire storm on social media and some websites?
So this is in the store reaction.
The internet is up in arms.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've talked about this online a little bit.
Wait, what is this?
Secret Empire.
So
Yeah, but
I will tell you the whole story
All right.
because you, like most people, have no idea what people are talking about when this comes up. Because
obviously I do not.
Don't worry, Toby. I'm in the dark too.
so, and we've talked about some of this before. Captain America, through the use of a cosmic cube, has turned out to be a Hydra agent all along.
Yeah.
The Red Skull has altered reality. I'm just dumbing it down, Charlie. I'm just
I
dumbing
know.
it down.
They made it even more complicated now.
Charlie gives me like the eye squint. He's like, actually, and I'm like,
he's giving you the eye squint with his back or his back of his head to you.
I could see it out of the corner. Just through the use of a cosmic cube, the Red Skull has made it so that Captain America has always been a secret Hydra agent. And so, if you extrapolate that out, which Marvel tries to deny, but they are wrong, Hydra is part of the Nazi party from World War II. This is not, you can't get away from this. Hydra is part of the Red Skull, of Red Skull's history. Red Skull is a Nazi. You can wash away it as much as you want. He's a fucking Nazi. Hydra, maybe they are not Nazis, but they worked with the Nazi party, and at that case, you might as well be a fucking Nazi. So, Hydras are Nazis. Case closed. There's no arguing this fact. Sorry, Marvel. You're wrong in this one, Marvel. However, the internet's wrong in every other way.
Twist.
So yeah, I know. So when Captain America, and we talked about this at length, that people were like, "Oh, you made Captain America this great Jewish creation who fought Hitler. You made him a Nazi. What's like how insensitive?" It's like, well, this is fiction. These are stories.
You do realize there were Jewish people in the time that faked being something and were Nazis?
I don't know anything about that. I'll just move on.
There's survival things that people do.
I'm just going to delete that from the podcast. I have no idea.
What the fuck?
I'm not going to... I don't know anything about real Nazis. I'm talking about comic book Nazis. So... This whole arc of Captain America, the lead up to Secret Empire. Sorry, Brock.
Read a fucking history book.
No. I don't want to talk about this. We're talking about Captain America. So
I'm trying to back up your argument.
There's no argument to back up. So Captain America in the current Captain America book has been a secret Hydra agent, and with Secret Empire 0 that came out last week during the worst day in the Marvel universe. It's kind of their version of like Countdown to Infinite Crisis. He flips. He's given control basically of the United States, and he goes, and here we go. I'm a Nazi. I'm head of Hydra. We're taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. We've taken over America. Done. You're done. America's done. The Nazis have won, right? Hydra has won. Sorry. So people are very up in arms about this, who haven't actually read the comic book, who don't understand fiction, who don't understand how stories end, who don't understand, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that are very, very off in their judgment of this book. So what's happened is a number of things. There's that where people have said, we don't like this book because you made Captain America Nazi. We don't like Nick Spencer because he made Captain America Nazi. Maybe he's a Nazi himself, despite being a wicked liberal guy, whatever. So then...
God, it's like fighting commies all over again.
Marvel steps in it a little bit further. On the Marvel Retailer Forum, which I'm a part of, they said, hey, we want to do some promotions in store because now that America's been taken over by Hydra, we want to have some websites taken over by Hydra, some comic shops taken over by Hydra. We want to kind of push this out a little bit. And every retailer...
Media marketing campaign.
Right, exactly. Every retailer on the forum said, this is awesome. All right, this is a great idea. So I don't know what sites they're going to do this with, or if they're even going to anymore. But for comic book stores, they said, we're going to give you all the cover art PDF files, Photoshop files for Secret Empire. And we have all the different variations of the Secret Empire logo, which you can incorporate into your own logo. And kind of as it goes from the Captain America shield, kind of crumble down to like a Hydra shield, right? And you can have your store be taken over by Hydra. And they gave us like official Marvel artwork to work with and everything, which is super cool.
Cool.
They said we're also going to give you guys exclusive Hydra T-shirts to give to your staff. They're cheap. They were like $6 each. It was very quick. They're like I think they were going to comp them, but they said, we're just going to charge you for them. It goes through. It's a promotional thing, right? They did actually say they answered me and said, we can actually sell these or give these away as customers if we wanted to. So I may still get a couple of them. But again, there's Hydra shirts have been around forever. I mean, Marvel's had Hydra shirts all over the place, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the whole idea was...
They had a loot crate that had a Hydra pin in it.
Yeah, sure. Hydra's all over the place. Captain America second movie was all about...
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was all about Hydra taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, so this all seems like totally normal stuff, except the internet fucking lost their mind. And we're like, if you're a comic book store and you're promoting this Hydra takeover, you're promoting fascism and Nazism in your store. And like most store owners, again, I've talked with there's dozens on the forum. We all talk. Some are big shops, some are little shops, some are shops you've heard of, some are shops you've never heard of, some are shops you probably shop at. Every now and again, someone was like, they would get like the one person that freaked out at it. But nobody in this store that I've talked to even knows about this stuff, let alone is upset about it. Secret Empire sold very well for a Marvel comic. And again, it didn't sell gangbusters, but it sold very well. I ordered a good amount of copies, much more than I do with most Marvel comics.
That came out the same week as Batman.
It did. It came out the same week as the first is Batman 21. I gave it to every customer that gets the Captain America titles, Avengers, and bought Civil War II #8, the final issue of Civil War II. I had one person pass on it out of roughly 35 or 36 people. Most people seem pretty excited, especially with the announcement that this is going to be Marvel's last big event for a while. Remember, you all hate big events. What's always the top-selling book every single month? A big event book. All right? There's a bit of, the numbers don't lie. People say they hate this stuff, yet what sells? Big events. All right? So it's like, it's a very weird space for comic retailing right now. So look.
Wait, are we Nazis?
If you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm a liberal-ass liberal guy for the most part. I'm not a Nazi. I don't promote fascism. I read Secret Empire
He's on the
Zero.
record.
This is on the record. Okay. I thought it was a fun comic. I thought it was... as someone who has not followed the Captain America title, I really enjoyed Secret Empire Zero. I was going to do our little Hydra takeover. However, they don't actually have a real method in which this is supposed to go forward. I thought this was going to... Well, here's the thing.
Now I'm disappointed. I'm going to be in an uproar
I made two pieces of art. I made the original good shield and the bad shield. I kind of made the both extremes, right? I may still post them, but I'm not going to do like a full switch over of our images.
I want to come into the store, have some chick work in here, and be like, "What the hell happened?" She goes, "Hail Hydra." I'm like, "All right, Hail Hydra."
Gonna get video of Toby doing the Nazi salute right now.
I'm in.
It's the Hydra salute, Ryan.
A Hydra salute. Hydra salute. Sorry.
It's a closed fist for Hydra.
He's not white, so it's fine. He can do it all he wants. I don't know. Well, hold on. I had asked him. I asked Marvel, is the idea that every shop's going to switch their logos when every issue came out. And I thought the idea was every shop was going to do this at the same time. And they're like, no, just do whatever you want. And I'm like, wow, that's no fun. Right? That's what I thought. I thought the push was...
No, everybody do it. No, that would have been
right,
great.
That when every new issue comes out, because there was 9 pictures, everyone would do all 9 at the same time.
Yeah.
So when they kind of said, oh, no, just whatever. That's why I was like, nah, I'm not going to do this then. I don't want to help. Yeah, like this would have been a cool push, right?
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
But the Hydra shirts, I've already talked with a couple customers. I'm like, hey, do you want like a Hydra shirt? They're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want a Hydra shirt. Yep. Okay. I won't say the name of the person that just raised their hand. Charlie.
Can I get a double X, please?
Only small. Okay, well, first of all, they totally misunderstood who works at comic book shops because it's large and extra large only.
What are they? Marvel really doesn't know their fan base.
Right, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
Really fucking don't know
they
their
really
fan
don't know their
base.
fan base.
What?
But, like, come on, guys. Look.
This would have been fun.
I don't want to wade into the internet debate on this.
Yeah.
No,
but a question that comes...
great. I work here and then eggs get thrown at the store for no reason, you know?
A question that comes to mind for me, having only read... Oh, no, I guess issue 0 just came out, right?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Is the uproar that it's Captain America?
Yeah. Yep.
Specifically that?
Yep.
Because Spider-Man was created by 2 Jewish creators. And if it had been...
All of these comic books were created by 2 Jewish creators.
But what I'm saying is if the Red Skull had retconned it so Spider-Man had always been a Hydra agent and his parents had been Hydra agents in World War II, would there be this uproar?
No, you're dealing with people who think you're taking the symbolism of America away from them.
So that's what I'm wondering. Is it that it's Captain America?
Yes, but it's kind of a brilliant storyline.
No, the thing is Nick spent... what I find hilarious about this is I feel like the internet is like a year late. Like there was this kind of uproar when it first happened, and
a little bit, but it didn't.
It didn't. There was nothing. It didn't go anywhere.
People calmed down and got over it.
Yeah. And then now it's like everybody's like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're like, the party ended like 2 years ago or something.
Well, I think at the time, everybody, including us on the podcast, were like, yeah, this won't last very long. It will be a story arc. And
now,
which is what it's turning out to be.
Now, I don't want to spoil something because it has not been released yet, although
it got leaked.
It got leaked everywhere.
I was curious. I haven't seen it, but I was like, why is everyone freaking out about it?
Everyone talked about this. There's another wrinkle to this, which is the Free Comic Book Day book.
Is it a Nazi book?
Well, it is a Secret Empire book, right?
Okay.
So it's a chapter of Secret Empire. The final page, if you've misread this event to this time, you get to that final page and you're like, well, this is the worst thing Marvel could ever have published. However, I have seen a couple people with some very interesting comments on very much what I think is actually how this is supposed to be interpreted, which I think is a brilliant way. I don't want to spoil it on this podcast. If you search for Secret Empire Free Comic Book Day book, if you really want to get spoiled, it's all out there on the internet. You can find it everywhere.
Or you can go down to your local shop and pick it up.
On May 6th. Yep, Free Comic Book Day. We'll have plenty of copies here. Maybe we'll get some Nazi comics into the hands of little kids, right? I mean, that's a sound clip that won't get taken out of context. I think there is going to... what am I allowed to say?
No, fuck. We're in NDA to territory.
Not NDA, but I can't talk about stuff I read on the forum, on the retailer forum. I believe very quickly this will be a non-issue. How about that? I think people are really up in arms over nothing.
Like the last time?
Just like everything else, up in arms over fucking nothing. And look, if you think comic book stores and Marvel Comics and Disney is promoting Nazism and fascism, man, get off fucking Reddit. I don't know what to tell you. You're disconnected from reality. If you really think...
But that's the norm now.
That's the problem. Do I understand the drama? I understand it, but I don't agree with it. I understand that people are upset, but I do not believe the internet is reacting to this properly. I think they have vastly, greatly misread this situation.
Well, that's because one person reads one article and then reposts about that one article without...
Yeah.
And,
I've talked about Bleeding Cool at length on this podcast, and, I like Rich Johnson. I think he does a job that is not done by too many people in the industry, and whether you love him or hate him, he's got his place.
He tries to do as a fair job as possible. Sometimes it's a little sensational.
Sometimes not, but yeah. But man, that fucking Jude Terror, holy fuck. Dude, this guy, oh my God. This is the guy that he needs to go. I mean, the just the endless clickbait and the worst, the absolute worst, like misstated arguments and I'll just call it flat out lies this guy promotes on Bleeding Cool is industry damaging. And whatever clicks they're getting from this guy, man, I hope it's worth it. Because you're really fucking up. Like, they're really hurting the industry with this dude. He is fucking public menace number one. J. Jonah Jameson should be yelling about pictures of this guy. Like, dude, you are like reconsider your entire life, guy. Like, you're a scumbag. I'm sorry, man. I'm fucking sorry. But, people that hate Rich Johnson, dude, Jude Terror is a fucking scumbag. I get really frustrates me. I really hate what this dude's done to the industry in the last couple months. So yeah, I'm not a Nazi. If you want a Hydra
just
shirt,
to reiterate,
if you want a Hydra shirt, come hit me up.
Yeah, because you got to hook up.
Yeah. I'll
With
get a few of
the
those
true
Hydra
Nazis.
Shirts. Yeah, I'll try to get a few of those Hydra shirts.
Well, I can't get one because
can I wear
apparently they're being
my shirt and then secretly go into work, have a weird smile on my face?
Hey, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Man, between X-Men Gold and this bullshit.
Yeah, Marvel is... Oh, boy, Marvel.
Fucking...
Like, what did I feel like I talked about it on the podcast. Stop me if I have. I don't know. I have no proof that this is true. This is just what I've heard from not even third parties, like fifth parties. Like, people so disconnected from this. But the rumor I heard was the Secret Empire was made... And all the production stuff was done. The timeline was set. All the issues were worked on. These contracts were signed. Around September, October of 2016, when Hillary Clinton was going to be the next president.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
October is when Marvel's sales tanked. Mm-hmm. November is when Hillary Clinton did not win the election. The rumor was that Marvel, kind of the thought was, well... This will be a funny what if, and I think because of the state of the country over the last few months, this book is hitting people...
We're not even at 100 days yet.
This book is hitting people a little differently than I think it would have had another person been sitting in the White House. And certain people's viewpoints were not as public as they appear to be these days. I just don't. But I think people are barking up the wrong tree. I think there's serious issues out there in the world right now, and I think this is not one of them.
No. It's a fictional story about a character that can be retconned or changed at any moment back to whatever it was,
and it will be
just a hiccup in the existence of the character. I mean, characters evolve and change all the time. I mean, you have Winter Soldier, for example. I mean, he is now a good guy. In a sense,
is he still the Watcher or whatever?
No, he's not. He's not doing.
No, he was leading the Thunderbolts.
He's leading the Thunderbolts, but it's
okay. Something else that was stupid too.
Well, was everyone up in arms?
Sorry, Charlie.
Was everyone up in arms when he was Cap for a while? When he took up the shield, like,
man, Winter Soldier being Captain America right now sure would be a timely story.
If he picks up the shield in Secret Empire, holy shit!
Well, when Stan Lee was the Grand Poobah at Marvel, he used to have this saying that what you want to give the fans is the illusion of change.
Yeah.
These characters go through the ringer and go through all of this stuff, but then at the end of the day, they're fundamentally the same character that you've been reading that a new person could come in and read. Mm-hmm. none of it is meant to be permanent. It's the illusion of change that puts you through all of this turmoil in the storyline. But then you land back on your feet at the end of it. So your guess is, Ryan, that Captain America will not be a Hydra agent in the Marvel Rebirth project.
I would say that is a 99.9% probability.
All right.
I have been wrong. I'm wrong more often than I'd like to admit, but I got a good feeling about this, that this isn't the permanent status quo for Marvel.
I'm also prepared to say they will probably not adapt this story into a movie.
Secret Empire animated series is already halfway through production, and Disney's like, oh, fuck, cancel. All right, Grumble Bumble on Twitter asks, and it's actually a great question, I'm glad he asked this. He says, I'm about 20 issues behind on Flash and an arc behind on Batman. Can I just read the Button crossover? The Button crossover, Batman 21, picks up immediately after DC Rebirth Special. DC Universe Rebirth #1.
It picks up after Rebirth #1. You don't have to read what was in between those issues, but time does take place in there. But you can pick it up from that.
Time has passed, but you can go from the final page of Rebirth to the first page of Batman 21 and not miss a beat.
So I want to hear the answer to the second part of his question, because he said he's 20 issues behind?
He's real behind on Flash.
Yeah,
but,
I'm real behind, i.e. I haven't read any of the Rebirth Flash issues. Can I read it?
You read that? It's not there anymore. You read the Rebirth #1? Yep, you're fine.
Okay.
Yep, you're good to go. You know who the Flash is?
Yes, I could say that about DC. I know who the Flash is.
Do you know who Reverse Flash is?
I do.
You're good to go.
All right.
Yep, you're good to go.
Thank you, DC.
Yeah. This is a Toby question. How do you decide between buying a variant copy of a book you're purchasing and the standard copy?
Oh, that's not a Toby question because I struggle with this every week.
That's why I asked you. How do you decide?
I asked Charlie which is a better cover.
you either buy both, or you
buy 6 of both?
Yeah, that too. Or you buy the better looking one and just live with it. I don't know. That's the best answer I have for this.
Honestly, I understand Toby's dilemma. I either buy both, or if it's a draw, I'm like, I normally just turn and ask Charlie.
I buy
easier that way.
I buy the base cover, the A cover, for books that I absolutely love. For me, variant covers are less about what the actual art is, although occasionally that is the case, and more about what the book is. I bought every variant cover I could for every book by Jeff Johns and Grant Morrison, regardless of what the cover was, right? Because these are books that my favorite books that I collect. I bought all the Rebirth #1 variant covers as well as the base cover because it's the first issue. They were very limited in how many covers they had. There was only the 2. For the Button crossover, you knew damn well I bought every cover on those things because that's my jam right there. So like the Flash, I didn't buy any of the Flash variant covers as the book was going on, but the book's right in front of me here, so I see it. This issue #9 cover with the Jay Garrick Mercury statue. I thought that cover was awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And it's a pretty important issue, too, because that's where his helmet is in the very end, where Flash sees is kind of his helmet. And I was like, well, important issue, but this cover is amazing. So there are times, because I'm not, unlike Toby, art is not my main focus. So there are times where I'm like, that cover's amazing, though, and I really like less so the style and more so what it is, right? What it shows.
So I guess my answer on this is typically I just grab whatever cover I grab if I'm going to. That being said, there are times when, like, the Samurai Jack comic was coming out, I wanted the Gendy Terezovsky covers because creator of Samurai Jack wanted his covers. Anytime they do, like, a Bruce Timm variant, I'll buy it, that kind of thing. So there's very select criteria I have for when I'm going to buy a variant cover. There was a point in time where I was buying a lot of the variant covers for the Tick comic book, but that's because it was small press, wasn't exactly selling a massive amount of copies at the shop I was going to. So I'm like, yeah, I'll buy all the different covers just to support the book a little bit more.
Yeah. Man, there's a boat and a half load of questions here. Let me power through a few of these real quick. Do you prefer this is from Potbelly Gamers. Do you prefer the small 4-book DC events versus the old school style of big, huge, epic events that are sometimes letdowns? I like them both. I kind of do like this weekly crossover that DC's been doing in recent months. It's very quick. It's done really fast. So if it sucks, it's over. And if it's awesome, you're getting more immediately. There's not a wait. You know, for people that are a little more price sensitive, it can definitely hurt the wallet. But I'm a fan of more and faster. So
I also like the
ain't good.
Scope and scale of the crossovers tend to be very specific. It's not a line-wide overhaul kind of thing, and that's where the big events really kind of
Justice League versus Suicide Squad was just kind of it was Justice League and Suicide Squad. It was what are they going to tackle together? It wasn't this world-ending event thing that was just going to be absolutely crazy. It was how can we bring the Justice League and the Suicide Squad together and make it a solid book?
A fun story, but didn't change the world.
The button stuff, it's Batman and Barry Allen. It's basically Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen going and solving a mystery. It's them being, detectives together. It's a detective team up, and it makes it
for the Flash issue too. Yeah,
it's very exciting because it's bringing it to their roots as these characters. He's the greatest detective and he's a forensic scientist, right? It's like, one has superpowers and one's just pretty fucking awesome. But you have, the crossover seems to be kind of grounded in that, where it's not like, oh, yeah, it's the button, and guess what? We're doing this huge, big thing that nobody thinks is...
I mean, they could have made it like a 40-part crossover involving every book, and they didn't.
I'd say one that did it really well is the Sinestro Corps War.
Yeah.
Which was entirely contained in those issues.
Yep. Except for the few... the one-shots.
Yeah. I'm not counting the one-shots. I'm more thinking the books you have to buy to follow the whole story.
Yep. There was no special events or anything like that.
Right. And I mean, I came of age in the time when every year we had the JLA JSA crossover. That was the event of the year. And then there were things like Crisis on Infinite Earths again, which has a 12-part main series, and then every DC comic in those months has Crisis crossover, and some of it is literally one panel of a person going, wow, the sky's red, that's weird, okay, back to the story.
Right.
That's the crossover.
Yeah.
I think I've said this forever. Hush is the perfect example of how you do a major comic event just in the regular title. It's just a regular book.
Yep.
But you don't need to split that off to be its own thing. I don't mind when they do those big events, but I just want the comics to be good. If you take the big events out of the comics, out of the ongoing books, then there's nothing special about the ongoing books. Put those big events in those books.
Yeah, I mean, Long Halloween's great.
Yeah, not really an event. That was just kind of like a little side miniseries.
That was a miniseries.
Yeah.
It was still made 12. Was it 12 or 13?
Just still a
Maxi-series.
miniseries. Yeah.
Maxi-series, yeah. But again, it's, depending on what it is.
Nah, he's talking like big crossover stuff.
Okay.
Knights of Ren asks, would you be able to do a segment on the show of what to look forward to or suggested books to get on? Oh, for some reason, I thought this said Free Comic Book Day. This is New Comic Book Day. I will definitely do talk next week on what's coming up for Free Comic Book Day. As for what to look out on every New Comic Book Day, that's a little tough because by Tuesday nights we've put everything out, but we haven't had a chance to read a lot. We have our staff picks. Don't
you do your little videos now?
I've started to put videos on Facebook where I go over our staff picks.
That's a really good start.
Yeah, and I think that's a good place where you could see our new release wall.
This podcast used to have a segment called Random Pick of the Week.
Well,
we're $8 short.
$8 away from that.
Oh, really?
If you donate $8 to us on Patreon, we're doing it next week or next month.
What a treat.
You have a week to do it. That's from Dan, all right. Here we go. We get to find out who hasn't read Watchmen. What comics or graphic novels are on your list of shame for never reading? Who hasn't read Watchmen? I know Toby hasn't read Watchmen.
It's really wordy.
Yeah, I know. See, there's always one.
I tried. I own it. Twice.
I was going to say like 4 formats.
Yeah.
So I have read Watchmen, but I will admit it took me a long time to get around to reading Watchmen. Like, it wasn't something that I read when it was coming out.
It took me an entire month to read one trade. Yeah. That thing is dense.
Wait to point me out. I was going to stay quiet on that one.
I never read Ronin.
I've never read Ronin.
No, I haven't read that one either.
I mean, I don't know if that's really...
I haven't read V for Vendetta.
Listen, V is great.
I'm not going to call you out.
I never read From Hell.
I had a blind spot that I just corrected last year, which was Preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
So I'm trying to think of another one that I'm ashamed of. I've not read the Jeff Johns JSA stuff, but I don't think of that as like a...
I guess I'm really behind on. I'm just bought all those
that's
books.
Not like a...
I don't think of that as like a legendary
I mean,
comics.
I love the Green Lantern and all the Jeff Johns stuff, but that's not must-read graphic novel of all time. I mean, I'm talking, you know...
Oh, I haven't read Mouse. M-A-U-S.
I read the
Spiegelman
first.
Art Spiegelman.
I read the first one.
I've always had I've always had a copy of Volume 1 and 2 around.
20 years ago, I read it.
Yeah.
I haven't read it in a long
That's
time.
There's mine.
Yeah.
You've read Transmet, right?
Yeah.
Indicator, we kind of answered your question. Thank you. We did talk about the Krypton trailer. That looks surprisingly good.
Yeah, that trailer disappeared shortly after it went up.
Did
I don't
it
know
really?
if people could still find it. Yeah, Warner Brothers pulled it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
But if it's still around, it's definitely worth looking at.
It was disappear. So in the Secret Point 5 episode, I tried to make Bryce watch it during the episode, but it was disappearing literally during the episode. So I was like, watch this. I'm like, it's not working. I'm like, bullshit, it's not working. I'm like, it really is not. Let me find another one. I can't find it.
Wow.
Yeah. I caught that all out, by the way, but I actually did have him watch it. Yeah, and we're going to add that at the end.
So Cisco asked, if sci-fi doesn't pick it up, do you think Warner Brothers will go forward with Krypton on their streaming service and move Justice League Action there if Cartoon Network keeps crapping the bed with this horrendous scheduling? And yeah, totally. I mean, I think that'd be the whole point of this, right?
Yeah.
So I know NBC, CBS is doing the All Access with Star Trek, which keeps getting pushed back. And there's another big show.
That's crazy that Star Trek
I don't know.
got so much publicity for something that I can't even tell if they've even filmed very much of, if any.
Yeah, I don't think they've started filming at all. No, that's not true. Didn't they have some shots? Didn't someone like leak shots of them doing something with Klingons or?
Well, they better start filming because they already killed the character also, so she could be on Star Trek.
No spoilers.
On Walking Dead.
No spoilers. We didn't talk about Walking Dead at all, huh? Maybe we could talk about some TV. And when all the finales happen, maybe we'll do a big TV conspiracy episode.
Walking Dead finale did happen.
Hiram asks, can the book club be a thing again?
Oh, wow. Oh, God, that's a golden oldie. I forgot about the book club.
Let's see.
Patreon.
Dude, make it a Patreon level, and we'll do it.
So Ken's got the answer here, and I think this is more likely than you think. Ken asks, what are the odds Marvel brings back Miracle Man for Marvel Legacy to counter DC's Rebirth's Watchmen? Will Alan Moore care anymore? I think that's a damn likely possibility. The Miracle Man is their big bring back, but who knows?
We're doing zombies. We should do zombies too.
Who knows? Boy, man, I've got so many more questions. Jesus, let's power through a few of these real quick.
We're just going to have to do a questions episode.
Julian Titus, okay. If you want to talk, maybe this could be one of my things that I haven't read. I've read like 3 issues of Invincible in my entire life. Julian asks, who's your fantasy casting for Invincible? Because they're doing this movie. I know he's a huge fan. He says Zac Efron for Invincible and Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Omni-Man. And I mean, Zac Efron or whatever, but that's actually not awful.
No, I don't want Zac Efron. I don't want him. I mean...
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, though.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Omni-Man, yeah, that could work. But for...
That would be Jeffrey Dean Morgan's 4th comic book role? Is that right?
He just owns them all.
Yeah, he just owns them all.
He's trying to catch
4th.
Chris Evans.
4th.
I think he's already got more.
Watchmen.
Does he have more than Chris Evans?
He was Thomas Wayne in the Batman Superman
you're
movie.
right.
Yeah.
That would be 4.
I wish I didn't remember that, but I do.
Yep.
Is it
That's
more
good.
than Chris Evans?
Chris Evans is just he's only 2, right?
And
wait,
Human Torch, Scott Pilgrim,
the
Captain
Losers.
America, Losers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 4 too. Yep, there you go.
Do we count that train movie?
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer?
Was that based on a comic?
Yeah.
French comic.
Yeah.
That was.
Okay, that actually was a comic, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
So he's
not
the lead.
not a superhero, but comic, yeah. That's some stuff about Nick Spencer. We already talked about that. Jonathan says, speculate wildly on where the Saturn Girl plot in Tom King's Batman is going. Tom King's going to write a Legion of Superheroes comic.
No. Is it Legion or no? The New Gods, right?
He can do both. He can write everything. Saturn Girl is going to bring back the Legion of Superheroes, and Tom King's going to write it.
Ryan, yes or no? In 2017, DC is publishing a Legion comic.
2017?
Yep. It could be a mini. It could be an ongoing. There is something with the title Legion of Superheroes.
I think
There'll
Legion...
be something with the
2018.
title.
I think Legion and JSA come out after the major event in 2018 that starts in May 2018, the 2-year anniversary of Rebirth. The Jeff Johns written DC vs. Watchmen ends with the return of the JSA and Legion. 2018, May, June, July, August, September, October. So it would be like October. It'd be like October, November 2018. Legion and JSA come out of the Jeff Johns.
Year and a half.
So that's. I don't think so. I don't think yet. I think they're going to do the full 2 years because I mean it seems like what's his face is Jake Garrick's coming back possibly in the Button or something. Because I mean he's on the cover. We've already seen the cover Flash 22. He can come back without the entire JSA coming back, and then you get the build up to the actual full return of Legion and JSA because it's all connected, right? It's a future in the past.
I still think you're going to have a comic with Legion on the cover, even if it's just a weird crossover with Hanna-Barbera or something.
Well, we did. Well, there's the Bugs Bunny Legion of Superheroes comic coming out.
There you go.
So I mean that is coming out.
So,
that is
that
real.
answers your question.
All right.
Yeah, Sam Humphries is writing that. Have you seen all those that they're doing?
Yeah.
with the Elmer Fudd Batman crossover
That
by Tom
one
King.
looks so amazing.
The art looks. Yeah, it's so strange to see that.
Jetsons back up.
It's called Bat Season. It's like the greatest comic name of all time. And the Brave and the Mug. No, what's it called? The Brave and what's the Batman Batman Swamp Thing issue they're doing called? It's called the Brave and the Muck or something like that. The Brave and the Mold. That's what it is. It's a Batman Swamp Thing issue called the Brave and the Mold. That's coming up in right after the Button crossover. Yeah. All right, last 4 questions. This is from Jamie. Who is the most overrated characters in comic books? Overrated.
Okay, Jamie, I got to weigh in on this as a concept for a second. Is that word is really tricky?
Yeah.
Because I think it's easier to say, and this is not to rewrite his question, I'm just saying personally when in discussing things like this, it's easier for me to say a popular character who just doesn't work for you
is
personally
overrated.
Rather than saying it's overrated.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's doing the rating.
Right.
I would just say everybody loves blank.
Yeah.
That character's never really done anything for me.
Sure. That's where it's tough. There are characters that everyone loves that I don't care about. There are characters that I love that nobody cares about. But, I am not a Punisher or Wolverine fan. I own a whole lot of Punisher comic books, right? Because Garth Ennis wrote it for like a decade, right? But I'm not going to be like, I'm a Punisher fan, right? So I think it depends on who's working on the titles, right? It depends on what they're doing. Some of my favorite characters have been written horribly, but, Tom King then writes the Vision, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm the biggest Vision fan in the world now, right? I mean, yeah, so, you'd say like, oh, Wolverine, but then Wolverine hasn't been around for a while, so is it overrated if it's not still around, right?
I guess I would say when I was reading X-Men in the Byrne Claremont era, everybody's favorite character was Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because he was awesome. Because
Yeah.
it was like you'd get some claw action once in every issue.
Well, you had those 90s where it was like Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Punisher were on everything.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I would say overrated would be, to me, doesn't work for me, is Wolverine as the lead character of something.
Yeah,
like a solo Wolverine.
Yeah. This is actually a good question. Which character is the most relationship challenged? It's got to be Peter Parker.
Daredevil.
Oh, it's got to be Daredevil. Let me correct that.
Yeah.
Sorry. You are correct. Daredevil.
Bruce Wayne?
Peter's there. I mean, Bruce is always just doing whatever.
Yeah, but they don't kill Bruce's all of his girls.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Daryl, you
Yeah.
date him, you're basically dead.
Yeah, Daredevil's got
Or
a...
driven crazy, or
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Charlie's got the answer.
Yeah.
Good job, Charlie.
Although that Wolverine
No
Cyclops...
hesitation.
That Wolverine Cyclops Jean Grey little triangle there is pretty ugly, too. Cyclops has got... He hasn't had the best luck either, but...
Kyle Rayner?
I mean, he has one girlfriend.
they just focus on the one.
The one.
The one that got
All right, let's wrap this up on what's probably not going to be the answer they want to hear. I'm also wondering. It says I'm also wondering Comic Spirit's opinion on Kelly Sue DeConnick's comic books. That would mean she would have to publish comic books for us to have an opinion on her anymore. She has a fan base. I am not in that. I've read a couple of her Miss Marvel issues. I thought they were fine, but didn't do anything for me. I read the first couple issues of Bitch Planet. I didn't do anything for me. I've read the first 2 issues of Pretty Deadly. I thought that book was gorgeous and completely incomprehensible. Mm-hmm. And as far as I know, she's basically done with the comic books at this point. I mean, she's in Hollywood with Matt Fraction.
Bitch Planet came out this week.
Yeah, the first issue in like a year.
Yeah.
And there's an anthology coming up that she's not involved with. I mean, she's done as far as I can tell. Mm-hmm. Matt Fraction limps out a comic here and there still. But he's not. I mean, Sex Criminal.
He rubs one out every so
yeah,
often.
but once he's done, he's done. I mean, they've been sucked up by Hollywood. They're not coming back to comics. Sorry, I mean, Brubaker still puts out work. I trust that he's going to stick around. Fraction and DeConnick, I don't see it happening. I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong, but there's nothing that makes me think that they're going to continue their work in comics.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience with her stuff. Miss Marvel didn't appeal to me. Bitch Planet.
Captain Marvel,
Captain Marvel. Bitch Planet, I was just like, I read the first issue, and I was like, okay. And then Pretty Deadly looked nice, but...
Yeah, Pretty Deadly was gorgeous.
Like, what?
Emma Rios, is that the artist? Absolutely incredible art, but oof, that book just... I couldn't understand it.
Talking about Hollywood swooping on talent, I was a little surprised at this one. Christina, the former colorist for Runaways...
Oh, yeah.
Is a writer on The Magicians now.
Oh, really? That's cool.
That was kind of like weird trajectory.
Yeah.
But she's also writing for Marvel still, right? There's a new book coming out, I think, that she has.
What's her name?
Christina Bad Radio. I'll tell you. Yeah.
She probably is, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what stuff she's worked on, but... I mean, people move over from all sorts of different companies and end up in different positions, so you never know who's going to take over and do something else. All right. Of course, what should have been a shorter episode goes on way too long. Hey, we had to make up. We missed last week. Charlie, sorry for keeping you so late on your anniversary. Happy anniversary, Charlie.
Thank you.
You and your lovely wife had a great day together. Now you're stuck here with us nerds. Oh, Christina Strain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she writing something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Or last. We're going to go ahead and wrap up now. Thank you guys all very much for being on. Kevin, thank you very much for being on. I would like you to plug your stuff. You've written some books.
One so far, but
I thought you didn't have a second one coming?
It's still in progress.
Oh, in progress. Okay.
But perhaps
alert.
Master Higgins would be kind enough to post a link on the Comics Conspiracy.
I would love to.
So I will just say it's Kevin Sharp without an E at the end and a dash in between those two names .com, and there's writing that could be purchased on that link and writing that could be read for free, and the latter far outnumbers the former.
Excellent. We also
I liked After Dakota. It was a good book.
Thank you, Brock.
Yeah.
I think did I give you a review on Amazon?
I hope that you did. Well, this is quite a bang we're going on the podcast with.
If you make a comic book version of it, I'll totally...
I was going to say, I know that Ryan didn't like it because it's...
Put the graphic novel in my collection and never read it.
Okay.
I
would feel honored to be on your shelf unread.
Well, no,
what's
this
the name
coming
of the
from the
book?
guy going, American Gods, people aren't really buying it. I'm like, it's a really good book. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have the first printing. We have to thank our good friends, Albert Soy. Thank you, Albert Soy, for your donations to us on Patreon. Julian Titus. Julian, got a package coming your way. Sent and everything. Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com. Make sure you check that out.
No pants.
There it is. Julian Titus, I already said your name. Ryan Hess has the Preach podcast at soundcloud.com/Preach podcast. Jody Lawson is canon the Triads Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Make sure you check out all that stuff. We also like to thank our other good friends here who donate to us on Patreon. Monoplay, Sam Che, Talon Bray, and Craig Anderson. Thank you guys all very, very much. We'll pimp your stuff, and we got a big stack of people's names we're going to read. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after, so you got a little bit of time to get on Patreon if you want for May. Yes, for the April Patreon that we'll read in May. So check that out. Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy is where you can go to support this podcast. Don't forget to rate and review us. ComicConspiracyPodcast.com is where you can find all our previous episodes. That iTunes rate and review, please. If you want to listen to episode 305.5, featuring me blabbing on for a few minutes and Toby and Bryce
Really blabbing on for minutes.
Doing it for an hour, live for you.
It's not live anymore, though.
Live from the podcast. You should subscribe to us on iTunes, and you'll get that episode in your feed. It's kind of the
Hold on, I'm going to send a little message in a bottle out here, because I want to see if Bryce listens to these shows when he's not on it.
He does.
He does.
Okay, Bryce, I want to know, should I buy X-Men Gold or X-Men Blue? I want your opinion. Tell me if I could only buy one, which one should I get?
You know you're going to get a 15-page essay at this point.
Well, Bryce and I are friends on various social media platforms,
he's texting me right
he can
now.
find me whenever. All right, there. Message done.
I got a text from him during the podcast that said, "Stop your wife, stop her now." I think Leanne started to watch the Netflix original season of Gilmore Girls that he is not a fan of, and I think that's why he sent me that text. I believe that's why. He never replied, so I hope that's why. The Comic Conspiracy at Geekbox.net is where you can send us more long-form questions. We read those occasionally. I haven't gotten to anything in a little while, I feel. It's been a while. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, our digital storefront. You can buy all your Patreon, all your Comixology comics through us on there, and we get a nice cut, and you get your comics, and Comixology gets paid too. So we all win. ConspiratorBrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. Brock, what Harley Quinn statue are you unboxing fake this week? Oh, that look.
Hold on. Middle finger to you. Middle finger to Toby. Spin him around.
Charlie's smiling, but he's not laughing. Wanderer's in the... Now, you going to do any?
I haven't gotten the last Harley or the other one up yet.
Harley.
That's okay. There's like another 20 Harleys.
Yeah, there's another 20 Harleys that are coming
When's your
out,
next
so.
$400 biker statue coming in?
Is the Poison Ivy one coming in?
I don't know, probably.
And make sure there's an extra copy you stick Ryan with.
Well, yeah. Whoa, that's a deep cut right there. Wanderers of the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's.
I didn't want to. They made me.
That's what I'll say when I'm closing the store down.
So good again.
Yeah, Wanderer of the Fourth Dimension. That's Charlie's podcast.
It's so good again.
I haven't seen the second episode yet. I'm going to watch it. They're talking about new episodes. So if you're a big fan of Doctor Who, go check out that podcast. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That's Leanne's Etsy shop. You can buy some prints from her.
What is she going to do? She has, the last thing was the Star Wars chicks. Mm-hmm. What is she going to do now?
She's working on some stuff.
Okay.
Yep. She's working on a number of things.
She needs to tease that a little bit.
They're all going to come out at once, I think. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager. That's Brock Sager. Are you just Kevin Sharp? Are you on Twitter? Do you care? Do you want to tell people? I can't remember your Twitter name.
That Kevin Sharp.
Kevin Sharp. Yeah.
And yes, I am. You and I talk on there regularly.
I know, but I don't know if you want other
He doesn't know if it's you.
people. I don't know if you want other people.
He doesn't remember if you plugged it last time.
Larson Bryce. That's Bryce Larson on Twitter.
And he's got a new fan account.
Oh yeah, someone has Bryce Larson quotes.
Oh yeah,
where they quote.
Wait, is that somebody at this table?
No.
Oh, that's fantastic. Whoever that is, you are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. Amazing quotes from Bryce.
And one really horrible quote from me.
I'd say out of context, but they're not even out of context. They're just awesome quotes, just nonsensical quotes from Bryce during this podcast. If you want to find your favorite Bryce quotes, they're on there. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity in Chaos. Comics Con store. That's the store. Follow us all, please. I'm a little bit more active on the Facebook account and the Instagram account for the store. Maybe I'll join Snapchat. because I'm a 16-year-old girl. I honestly, I've no
for
idea.
that, you need to be in your underwear and do selfies and shit.
Is that Snapchat?
I guess so.
I've literally never used Snapchat. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know. Is that the picture?
That's a little ghost thingy.
Is that the picture with the text?
Yeah, it's the one
underneath.
You like that.
No, it's the text straight through the fucking picture.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, that's Snapchat.
Say hi to all the
I'm on Brock's Snapchat. Apparently, hello.
Yay.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Good radio.
Yeah, so we can follow all that stuff.
What the fuck is that?
Geekbox, come to Button, get your brain. I'll talk podcast, manga, nations, so you can listen to all the other podcasts. I'm going to go to bed. Good night.